Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a rating your one-man Doomstack covering Malekith. So a lot of things to cover with this one. There's a lot going on in Malekith here. So first thing we want to look at is his resistances. We've got 42% ward save, 45% physical resistance, and 75% magic resistance. So his magic resistance is maxed out. Now, his physical resistance is essentially at 87%, 3% away from the cap. Over here, we've got a Talisman of Endurance instead of a Talisman of Preservation. Like, he probably just doesn't have one. Like, you can go through an entire campaign and not get a Talisman of Preservation. Sometimes you might end up with 6. It's just a matter of luck. So, that 5% extra ward save would have gotten him to the cap. Now, what that difference means is between 13% damage from physical attacks or 10% damage from physical attacks. So, we're essentially taking 30% more damage than if we had the Talisman of Preservation. Not that big of a deal, I think, in this case here. And I think he's strong enough to be able to handle it. But we got to keep in mind that this is not quite Malekith's full strength. But, you know, getting that Talisman of Preservation, it requires luck. You can't guarantee you're going to get one of them. And then, of course, he's got the Sword of Khaine dominating, which I think is necessary if you want to make a one-man Doomstack with Malekith, because his regular unique weapon, Destroyer, doesn't have any physical resistances or ward save. So without that 30% ward save, then we would be down to 12%. So what would that bring us to? 57% physical resistance. Yeah, that would mean that we'd be taking like 5 times as much damage as what we're going to do in this battle. Anyway, let's jump into this and see how it goes. We've got plenty of Winds of Magic. He's maxed out his levels. He's apparently done a lot of trait farming. We'll have a look at that after the battle. And we'll just see how it goes. One of the big things here, going up against Teclis, is that if he uses the Scroll of Hoeth, it's going to debuff our cooldown on the Sword of Khaine. So we kind of need to find a way to snipe Teclis. So where is he? He's in there. Problem is, if I land, we're just going to get shredded. So he's kind of protected. I kind of wish he was on the Phoenix. Even though he'd be way tougher, we're super resistant to it anyway. Alright, before we do any like landing, we have to get rid of their missile units. Then we can land and it's fine. We can fight the Phoenixes and Dragons and any flying units that they might have, but we don't want to land. Actually, because it's a choke point battle, if I land, I should be able to like click here and get back up. Okay, I don't really want to sit here wasting their ammo, but at the same time we do kind of need to wait for their other reinforcements to show up. So, dragons aren't the best at dodging, they're just kind of big. But they're just not doing any damage at all. Maybe it's because they're missing, I'm not sure. It's on very high battle difficulty. Oh no, when they hit, they do 1 damage. Oh, hang on. Oh, right, we were just regenning really quickly. Yeah, they do like 1 damage. Alright, let's see here. Alright, I know what to do. I'm gonna cast a blade, just a regular one there. And then move back. Try to get them to start crossing. That'll give us a better opportunity to cast spells and maybe to use up Dragon Breath. But right now, it's just not amazing casts. Also, we're not going to use the Black Arc abilities. We're here to test out Malekith, and that's somebody else helping him, so no. And I don't think we need it either. So yeah, just waiting for them to cross. Because once they cross through here, the magic will do tons of damage. But they got to get organized. Hang on. I'll take some of that. Okay, another way to avoid the Scroll of Hoeth is just not get within range of Teclis, so don't be flying over there too soon. Got the Sword of Khaine, but since we're not really going into melee right now, we don't need to use it just yet. Wait for a good opportunity. Yep, just wait. Okay, they're starting to cross now, but there's more units coming. So it's not as quite as blobby as I wanted it to be. These Shadow Warriors have almost run out of ammo. Yeah, they tend to run out of ammo quickly. Okay, now I don't mind overcasting Blade Wind because it doesn't cost that much extra Winds of Magic and it doesn't last that long. Oh, we miscast, but it doesn't do much damage because we got so much... Kind of went the wrong way there. Alright. And a spear me. Okay, let's lure the... that went completely the wrong direction. That's another reason why I usually don't like overcasting, because you can't really predict which way it's going to go, and sometimes it just goes the wrong way. Alright, don't mind fighting the Phoenixes, as long as we're not getting shot at the same time. Holy crap. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised at this point, but Phoenixes usually don't go down that fucking fast. And this is on very hard battle difficulty. Does it have perfect vigor? Yeah. Okay, I don't want to fight a Phoenix and a Dragon at the same time. So, let's move back. Plus, I don't really want to take that debuff permanently, so it might be a good idea not to kill that Frostheart Phoenix. How much damage have we taken so far? 300-ish. Oh, I got an idea. Why don't we just cross back over? That way they'll cross over, but the flying units can just fly over and come get me. But I'll be out of their archer range. Because, yeah, that permanent debuff on us would not be good. Luckily, it didn't stick. Okay, that's good. Because I think it needs to shatter and die at the same time. Which it didn't do. Alright, Arcane Phoenix. Let's see how we go against this. It doesn't matter how high your melee attack is, there's always a chance of a unit blocking your attack. Okay. Well, those Phoenixes went down way easier than what they would normally go down. Alright, don't worry about it, let it go. It would have been a good opportunity to actually use the Sword of Khaine because I was in melee a bit there. Look, there's a decent opportunity over here, let's use it. That looks like a pretty good one. And we're at 30 Winds of Magic, so here, have a regular casted Blade Wind. Okay, Dragon coming over here. And yeah, as much as possible, let's try to stay away from Teclis so that he doesn't use the Scroll of Hoeth on us. Okay, the Dragon's not coming. Okay, this should be a much better overcasted one this time. As long as it goes forward, which it should. Oh, it didn't cast. That should be a good one. So when it comes to Dragon Breaths, I usually like doing the... Oh yeah, that's a really good one. Really like doing them when I'm not under missile fire. So once we've used up all their ammo or killed off all their archers, that would be a good opportunity to use it. Okay, maybe using the Gaze of Malice would be a good idea. Definitely makes it easier that it's a choke point battle, that's for sure. Being able to just cross over the river constantly like this, on a flying unit, they just don't organize themselves very well. Okay, come on Dragon, come over here. Need to recharge my Sword of Khaine on you. Finish off the Arcane Phoenix first, just one hit to kill that. Good. And that dragon is going down super fast. Bloody derpy dragon animations. I've also got Power of Darkness, but I don't want to use it just yet. But I'm thinking about it. Alright, total damage done to us so far, about 600. Alright, let's use it. Won't do much damage to us, and it does generate a lot of winds of magic very quickly. Try use it in combination with the arcane conduit to get the most out of it. Okay, unit over here, let's get that off the battlefield. Plus, if we go into melee with it, it could help us recharge our Sword of Khaine, because we've only used it once so far. But yeah, using the actual ability for the Sword of Khaine is less important than actually having that ward save. Because if we think about it, how much damage would we have taken if we didn't have the Sword of Khaine? Let's see, we've taken about 800 damage, so basically multiply that by 4. So what's that? 3,200. That's how much damage we would have taken, roughly, if we didn't have the Sword of Khaine. Okay, I gotta get back across over here. I'm gonna stay away from Teclis. We do not want that debuff. I didn't even make very good use of this because I would have generated the magic anyway. Just waiting for a decent opportunity. I don't think we're gonna get one. This is a cast. Yeah, it wasn't a particularly good cast.
Death awaits. Onward. I am dead. Carnage core.
That was kind of a miss because they stopped right before. Oh well. You win some, you lose some with that. It's alright. At least it wasn't an overcast. Don't think chill wind's a good idea. Alright, should we get a breath attack in there? Not yet, not yet. Soon. Some of these casts have not been optimal.
Setting forth. I depart.
Okay, an opportunity's forming up over here where I think a breath attack might be pretty good. Oh, we got debuff from Teclis. Alright, motherfucker, that's why I want to stay away from you. Because that doesn't recharge naturally. Alright, I'm going in to kill Teclis. Hopefully this bloody works. Yeah, Teclis has a lot of natural ward save. And see, it leaves us quite vulnerable to getting shot here. But still, fuck Teclis. God, you tanky bastard. Get rid of this goddamn dragon. Part of the problem as well is when there's other units nearby, sometimes, even if you're telling him constantly to attack Teclis, he'll just attack the other units just because that's what they do. We're definitely getting him, but we're vulnerable while this is going on. I just don't want him to debuff me again. Come on, eat him! Eat Teclis. He tastes like cousin. Let's go, 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 go. Or escort him off the battlefield, whichever. As long as he's not doing that shit again. Not time for one of these. Ah, good. That's even better. Alright. We took a lot of damage doing that though, but at least we got him. No more debuffs from Teclis. Okay, we can, if we go to a naturally impassable area that can't be there, moved to by land, we can just fly up. Alright, should we do a breath attack? Yeah, when they cross back over. You need to still get rid of these bastards here.
Come forth! Advancing! All shall die.
Could use a breath attack on them, but I just think we can do better with it. Like, over here. Just get more kills with that.
Destruction awaits. The destroyer hungers.
Good, racking up really high kills there. Okay, and I don't want to fight here anymore. Let's get out of here.
Death awaits.
Okay, should be able to fly up from here. Yep, okay, cool. Now, a lot of people also ask, how is he able to just have one flying unit and not immediately lose the battle, especially because that notification comes up? That notification, what it does is it causes a constant leadership debuff. But if you're unbreakable, you're immune to all leadership debuffs. So, if you're going to have all flying units, they need to be all unbreakable. And that way you don't actually need a land unit.
Death awaits.
Okay, let's do this. Generate
Khaine, chosen of King.
fair bit of wins. Okay, let's use a breath attack. It's probably not going to be amazing. Let's take a look. Nope, I was pretty happy with that. That's good.
Setting
I'm
forth.
pretty happy with that.
Advancing. Malekith comes.
Let's get rid of these goddamn archers. Yeah, you bloody amber speared me, you can die. How dare you? No, just a regular cast will do fine. I think we can stay in melee now. I think the army losses will be triggered fairly soon.
Moving out. Annihilate them. Hear my
Sword of Khaine's
words.
a few seconds away. And there's the army losses, right before we had our third Sword of Khaine ability. We can pop it down on them anyway. Okay, so the total amount of damage we took was 2,200. Jeez.
Onward.
Imagine if he had the Talisman of Preservation as well. Probably would have only taken 1,800 damage. I still had 2 breath attacks left to go. And we had 60... Well, we kind of had a bit more reserves than that. If we use this, we can see... Yeah, we didn't have tons. Alright. Alright, let's see how he's been leveled up. He did really well in that battle. A lot of those units were just infantry, but there was some dangerous stuff in there. Like the Phoenixes, they're usually the most dangerous unit that the High Elves will field. There wasn't tons of them, but there were 3 plus a dragon, and he just ate them like they were nothing. Plus Teclis's debuff was annoying. We had to go into melee to go sort that out, and he handled it.
All shall kneel before me.
And yeah, it's a rare occasion where a lord comes out of a one-man Doomstack battle completely full health.
Knows no limits.
We didn't even use up half of our regen. Okay, now let's have a look at what lord traits he got. It's gonna be the usual ones. This one looks like he's got all the good ones. So all the stuff that actually improves combat stuff and other garbage stuff like Carl Franz. So Hellebron, he's got Gore Drenched, of course. High Hierophant Katep, yep, good. Ulthuan undefended, yep. So Tyrion, Teclis, Elariel, yep, good ones. Throg, Throts, Azag, good. Isabella, yep. You don't really need Isabella because don't get me wrong, it benefits, but you could always use Soul Stealer to regen. Lich Killer, yep, that's probably excessive. We're well over the cap for magic resistance, but that's still not bad. Hide Striker, yeah, whatever, that doesn't matter that much. And physical resistance from Wurzag, of course. Slayer King, that's a good one. Saurus Smiter, of course, yep. Queek. Marcus Wolfheart's a good one, yeah. More missile resistance doesn't hurt. And Silostra. And he's got the Curse of the Sword of Khaine. Okay, so the only one that, of course, I think he's really missing is that's important is Nakai's, the extra 10 melee defense. Probably doesn't really matter that much. His melee defense is nearly 100, and Nakai can be very hard to track down because he dies so early and so often. Can't think of any others that would have been useful for him. So yeah, he's essentially the only thing that's stopping him from being max power is the Talisman of Talisman of Preservation, which he doesn't have. No, yeah, he's got the best of. He's put on the best of what he can have. As for the Sword of Khaine, whether or not to give Malekith the Sword of Khaine, obviously the Sword of Khaine has some major drawbacks, but Destroyer here doesn't have any resistances. So, well, we probably could have won the battle without Destroyer. Sorry, without the Sword of Khaine, as long as he was unbreakable, which he wouldn't have been. It still probably would have been okay in that situation, but I know that there are a lot tougher armies than that he could have gone up against. Even against the High Elves, like they can field half a stack of Phoenixes. And that's when you're really going to want that extra ward save. If you're going to do this, which I don't really recommend doing it as the Dark Elves, but if you're going to do it as the Dark Elves, I'd actually recommend doing it as Hag Grief, because that way you can bypass the public order penalty, because that's probably the biggest problem with the Dark Elves. Dark Elves are not a high public order race because of all the other debuffs that you'll occur along the way, specifically slaves. So if we have a look here at Nagarond, he's at 100% slaves. This province here is maintaining public order, but he's got a lot of heroes here justifying it. Slaves is causing -11, difficulty level -8, faction -8. Yeah. Like, he's maintaining it here, but what about other provinces? Like, I'm more concerned about, what about recently conquered regions? Like, so if he didn't have the Sword of Khaine, he wouldn't have a revolt here. And he's got the public order building. Basically, he needs to destroy this and build another public order building quickly, or switch it over to this. So I guess he could maintain public order with that. Other provinces. Yeah, he's holding on by a bit, because he's also got this as well. But you can't do that constantly. 5 turns with a 20-turn cooldown. Yeah. Like, you can manage with the Sword of Khaine. It's not like you pick up the Sword of Khaine, then instantly everything revolts. It just makes managing the public order a lot more difficult. The -8 is already quite crippling, and then adding on an additional -8 is, -8 from difficulty level and then -8 from the Sword of Khaine can be a massive pain. There are, I think, 3 settled races in the game that can handle the Sword of Khaine in the late game in terms of public order with no real drawback. That doesn't mean you should pick it up with them, but that's Lizardmen, High Elves, and Vampire accounts. Vampire accounts have tons of public order thanks to their bloodline and also thanks to Vampiric Corruption. Once they start generating loads of Vampiric Corruption, which they just naturally do, you don't even need to build the Vampiric Corruption stuff, public order is like +20 in most of your regions anyway, even if it's red. And you've got heaps of bonuses in the +5 from the Sylvanian bloodline. Makes it easy to maintain public order. Because, yeah, you don't really want revolts everywhere. It'd really massively slow down your campaign. But in terms of, like, how his combat did, this was... It's hard to say. It wasn't the strongest army that we went up against. He did amazingly well. Like, we could have taken on so much more than what we did, and he would have been fine. Like, even if I went up against a Rite of Primeval Glory army, I think we would have been fine. He was just so strong. So, I'd probably give it, like, 10 out of 10 for combat. But Dark Elves, I kind of feel like I need to deduct a point just because Dark Elves just can't maintain the public order very well. It will slow down your campaign, it will make things worse. But if you played as Hag Grief, you could bypass it a little bit extra by drinking that potion constantly, because that gives a +10 public order bonus, so that'll more than negate it. But yeah, Dark Elves are a bit iffy with the Sword of Khaine. Essentially, any of their characters could wield the Sword of Khaine and be a one-man Doomstack. That's not a problem. The problem is the other effects from it, and we should take that into consideration. But it also didn't take us like 45 minutes to win that battle, so he's definitely better than Grimgor. But yeah, just things to juggle. Also, we didn't have a look at his skill tree. So we went through Tyrant, which is, I think, the right way to go. You want to get that public order and also reduce, what's it called? Slave decline rate and slave public order penalties. But if he had gone down here, would it have made him stronger? No, not really. It just provides different benefits. Not necessarily better or worse, it's just different. I definitely do think that Tyrant is the way to go. He didn't go down the red line at all. Put 5 points into all this stuff. I don't think you need Earthing, really. Doesn't provide that much of a benefit. And if you got this much magic resistance, miscasting's not that big of a deal. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just loads of points put into his melee combat. Well, I think he's done about as good as he can do to actually make this a viable one-man Doomstack. So yeah, look, I'd be happy to give it like somewhere between 9 and 10 out of 10. Because it's like very powerful, but the drawbacks, I am aware of it. So it's just, that has to be taken into consideration. Some people don't care about that stuff, but I definitely do. So that's why I'm just always in two minds about it. But anyway, that's the end of this one. Let me know what you think of the Malekith one-man Doomstack. Can be a little bit better with the Talisman of Preservation, but I think this guy has done an almost perfect job of making this a perfect one-man Doomstack. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.